Kurt used to work in a place where they gave quarterly blood drives. He wasn't too into them and he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which meant that he was permanently deferred and no longer allowed to give blood. It wasn't a big deal to him until his daughter was diagnosed with medulloblastoma, which is brain cancer. And suddenly, blood was a constant part of their lives. During her 6 months of chemo, she had to get 150 different transfusions. And Kurt saw, in a way that many cannot, the need for blood. And he posted a story on redcrossblood.com where I found it. Blood is always in short supply. 4.5 million Americans each year need a blood transfusion, and some of them have to wait for days or even up to a week before they can get the necessary blood. So I'm going to take a line from Smokey the Bear. Only you can give your blood. This is how much blood is in the human body. Average human body, mind you. And this is how much the average American will need from transfusions during his or her lifetime. When you go to donate blood, this is how much workers will take from you. Can you take this from all of this and give it to someone who needs it? The American Red Cross says that 1 pint, this much, can save up to 3 lives. And all it takes is 10 minutes of your time. Why should you give blood? Well, for starters, you're going to need it eventually. 70% of Americans will need a blood transfusion at some point in their lives. Secondly, you're helping. Most people who give blood transfusions say that they do it just because they like the feel of having done something good for that day. Thirdly, 30% of the blood goes to kids, goes to little children. Most hospitals need 500 pints of blood every day. That's a lot of blood, just to run their regular operations. And finally, at the end, you get cookies and punch. So why not, right? Giving blood is easy and not dangerous. Lisa was suffering from a rare and serious blood disease, and her 5-year-old brother seemed to hold the key for her cure. He had survived the same blood disease back when he was a young child, and had built up the necessary antibodies to fight. The doctor explained the problem and asked if he would help. Her little brother hesitated and said, yes, if it will help Lisa. He lied down, the transfusion started. His smile faded, and then he asked, so will I start to die right away? Giving blood is not dangerous. In the past, giving blood occasionally, it was not such a streamlined and thought-out process. There was even a time in the late 80s, early 80s, when AIDS was well publicized as an issue when you went to give blood. But these days, disposable needles are given for every single blood donor that comes. So you will give blood in 4 easy steps. Registration, where you fill out forms about you, yourself, and you. A mini physical, where you'll learn about your health history and places that you visited. And then you actually give blood. And then you get cookies. It's cookies, you know. So know your blood type. There are 4 blood types: A, AB, B, and O. O is the universal donor. It can be donated to anyone in need, even if the blood types don't match up. AB is the universal recipient, which means that they can accept blood from anyone, no matter whether the blood type matches or not. Doctors often run out of types O and B, but they say that the rarest blood type is the one that's not on the shelf when it's needed by the patient. So help out, do your part, and donate blood. And what goes around comes around. So find the nearest donation station at redcrossblood.com.